Hello, fellow homeschoolers. Welcome to Crazy Brave Homeschool. My name is Ashley, and on this channel, well, you guessed it, we talk about all things homeschooling. I am a new homeschooler to a first grader and a pre-Ker, soon to be in TK this fall. And today we're talking all about group subjects. So my last two videos, I've been sort of working on this series building up to next school year. And the first video of that series was talking about what I'm planning for my rising second grader. And the last video is what I am thinking for my TKer. So these videos are just sort of an opportunity to talk out my thought process about what I want to bring in for next year. And as we know, it can take a lot of planning and brainstorming and talking it out. So this is part brainstorming, part I know what I want to do, and then of course everything could change. So these are my plans as it stands, and I'm excited to share what's been on my mind. So for group subjects, we will be leaving out math and language arts. Those are, obviously more individual subjects for the different ages of my kids. So we are going to be covering a lot of enrichment in our group studies. We are going to be talking about my picks for foreign language, artist study, art, music, social studies, and science. And I may have forgotten a couple in there, but that nature study, and that covers it. Right, so let's get started. All right, I'm going to start with science. This one has been a doozy. It has been so tough for me to decide on what we want to do. Our science for first grade really flopped. I've, gone on and on. Blossom and root science, earth science, level 1, grade 1 didn't work out for us very well. So aside from their book seeds that we are planning on bringing in for science next year, I'm going to get the whole book seeds bundle. I've talked about this a lot too. I'll just briefly mention that these book seeds are basically, they're like STEM activities that are built around a piece of literature that's been written about like some great scientific achievement. So they have like nature bundles, which would be like, nature studies. Like I think the second grade bundle is actually all built around botany. So we'll be getting 6 book seeds issues on botany, and then each book seed is a different book about like some achievement in botany. Anyway, so that's our plan, but those only last, there's only like 6 issues, and I usually do like 1 issue a week sprinkled in sporadically throughout our year. So that only covers 6 weeks of science. All right, y'all. I have been looking around at science curriculums since our science bombed 6 weeks into first grade. So basically since September or October, I have been researching so many science. For the last few months, I have landed on Bookshark, level 2, or is it B? It's 2 or B. Maybe it's level B. But the reason I was thinking Bookshark is because I do like that it's open and go. It gives you all of like the little parts that you need. I did not enjoy having to gather all of our own parts for our science this last year. And so I do like that it comes with all of that ready to go. Love that. So that was a winner. And then I like that it's literature based. I'm not totally wooed by the book list, just from the looks of it. But I do like that there's a lot of books surrounding it. What did I like about Bookshark? It's pretty hefty in price, but we do have our charter school funds, so I'm not too worried about that. It is definitely like workbook heavy, it seems. Seems like there is a lot of, logging after you would do your study. And then it seems like it's something that would work out best if you were doing it like 4 or 5 days a week, which has never been us. Like we've always only done science once a week, which I'm sure that we could work around that and make it work for us. So I have been thinking about Bookshark for a long time. I think the reason I wasn't super excited about it is because it's very popular. But I'm just kind of a rebel. I sort of like to go with the programs that are a little lesser known. I just, for some reason, think that a more popular program might not be as good. And I'm sure that that could be flawed thinking, but it's just kind of where I'm at. So I kept looking, and I found another program that I think I am maybe more excited about. It is elemental science, biology for the grammar stage. So it looks like they have a few different programs like chemistry and physics, biology. What do I like about this? It comes with the experiment pieces, I believe. So I like that a lot. It is not a literature-based program. It does encourage or require a few different books that are more so like encyclopedias for children, science encyclopedias. So don't totally love that it doesn't have the literature piece. I like the breakdown of subjects that are similar to Bookshark, but they do have a couple of differences. Yeah, the topics covered in biology for the grammar stage are living world, animals, human body, and plants. And while there are a lot of those subjects in the Bookshark curriculum, I think that my kids would really like all of these, whereas Bookshark maybe had some more like engineering stuff that, I don't know, I feel like I would rather hit a lot of these topics first before getting into some of that. And I think that Bookshark might have had like some space. I might be wrong, but I feel like there might have been some space. And we covered space a bit last year, and my kids just weren't that into it yet. So I love that there's a big human body study in this one. I definitely want to do that with my kids. I love the plants one because then that will correlate with the coincide with the botany book seeds bundle that I'm going to get. My daughter is so into animals right now, like so much so that I actually considered just finding an animal-based science curriculum. Okay, I'm just going over a peek inside the grammar stage teacher guide here, just to remind myself what I really loved about this. So of course you've got your weekly topic. I like that they offer 2 scheduling options. They do offer a 2-day-a-week option, which is probably what we would do. A reading assignment for younger students. There's memory work. I do like that. Okay, additional resources, and then of course you have your scientific demonstration, an optional coordinated unit project, optional STEAM ideas. Okay, and then so the notebooking assignments, record what your students have learned with either the student workbook or the optional lap book. I saw a mom's video who did actually both. And now that I'm looking at it, it really doesn't seem too much. I'm realizing that there are quite a few work pages here. I mean, this looks like 5 different work pages per topic. But then of course you have the lap book option instead. What you learned, and then write a sentence or 2. With the lap book, they give you all of the printables here for the lap book, so you can make a lap book with a file folder. And this is pretty fun. We've done this a couple of times. But the video that I saw of the mom who did this, she had a notebook, and they made their lap book in the notebook. So it was something that was, everything was all collected together. It was basically another version of notebooking for their science that year. And I'm thinking that we would do that in a notebook and perhaps skip this part altogether, because I don't really see the necessity in doing both. So I really like that. And then I like that they do vocabulary with the science unit. Okay, so they do have simple demonstration sheets, document the hands-on scientific demonstration you did with the lab sheets. Yeah, okay, maybe. Oh yeah, so the glossary of terms is where you will find your vocabulary word for that study. Memory work posters, review sheets. Yeah, so I think what I like about all that is that there's a little bit more creative freedom in creating like our own portfolio, versus the Bookshark workbooks it's just very scripted. It's very laid out exactly what the kid is supposed to do. And it almost, to me, seems a little bit like drilling. Like We just learned about this. Here is this very specific question. What's the answer? And we are pretty relaxed homeschoolers. I've kind of mentioned before, I don't really intend on doing grades or testing. I feel that I'm going to know really well where my kid is at and what they're passionate about. And so I don't need them to know everything that they learn. I really don't. I'm basically presenting them with a feast of ideas, and they can cherry pick from there what really inspires them. So I like that about this science program, that there is just a lot more creative freedom, and that looks good. So I think we're gonna go with this one. And of course it makes me happy that I found like a little lesser known company, and I like that it is it seems very classically charged, which is in a lot of ways similar to Charlotte Mason education, which is what we tend to lean towards. So yeah, we've got little Charlotte Mason in there with the notebooking. We've got the classical in there with the memory work. So yeah, I think we might have found it. It's my plan for now. Yay! Figured out science. Okay, that was a long one. Let's jump into a couple that are not going to take me so long to talk about. So for social studies, I love social studies, it turns out. We have used a ton of social studies resources for our first grade. So I'm really liking it. We just started Beautiful Feet US Geography. This is going well. I like this program. We're going to continue this throughout the summer and probably into the first term of second grade in TK. And then we will jump into their Beautiful Feet Around the World, one of the two options that they have for those. So that is our plan as it stands, assuming that this continues to go well. For history, all right, so as a lot of you know, we've been doing American Girl history for the past few months, and we love it. We still love it. It wasn't just the honeymoon stage. It's still going so well. And so this program continues through August. When that is over, I kind of feel like I might need a little break from history, because it's a lot. It really is just covering so much time. It's covering early, 18th century to, I think like the 1960s is where these girls go to in this program. So I want to take a breather. Also, I don't know that I'm ready for a very real in-depth history curriculum for my kids, especially my TKer. My daughter is really inquisitive and fascinated by history and about people and how we all got here. But as we all know, history is really violent and really sad. So these concepts are just huge. I'm thinking that what we're going to do is we're going to wait until third grade to introduce like formal history. I mean, what we've been doing is history too, and a lot of it is bringing up a lot of intense subjects. We're going to be doing a big slavery talk in the next couple of weeks. And so I think just taking a break will be good. And plus, I don't know what history we're going to use yet. I have been doing so much research. History Quest looks good. I think that's at the top of my list right now. But I have been researching so many. So I think that I need to do some more research, actually like read the books before I decide. But in the meantime, I did hear about Simply Charlotte Mason has this little like portfolio of, it's called What They Left Behind, What We Left Behind, What They Left Behind. And it's a lot like their picture study, artist study rather, where you can study like a picture of the Colosseum or, the Leaning Tower of Pisa or something like that. And so it's kind of like a really fun study on, archaeology in a way. And I love archaeology, and my kids seem pretty into it too from what we've done so far. So I think that will be something that we'll bring in like once a week or once every 2 weeks and just scratch the surface of world history. Obviously the American Girl history has been all about the U.S. So I don't know if we'll stay with U.S. in third grade or if we will go into world. I have not decided yet. Would love any feedback that you guys have about when and how you started like real life history with your kids, and not just through like soft, fluffy books like American Girls. Okay, that's our history plan. So I have also been forever researching the Tuttle twins. I am curious about their book collections. I wouldn't get their thick history program yet, but they do offer a lot of smaller little chapter books that are quick and easy. I've heard the Miraculous Pencil is really good, all about like the free market and the economy. And I think that, like, obviously in terms of social studies, those are topics that we're going to want to go over. So I'm considering starting with the Miraculous Pencil, seeing if I like it, and then from there getting several more books to read for second grade and TK social studies. Art. So my last video, a couple videos back, I don't really know which one it was, I was like, oh my God, we cannot figure out art. My art curriculum with Blossom and Root was sort of boring me a little. So we stopped doing that. And what did we do? I tried the Kids Art Box subscription. I just got one box. We did that, and my daughter wasn't that into it, and I didn't really love it either, because I've decided that subscription boxes for art are just too prescribed. There's not enough freedom. So then we tried Artistic Pursuits. We've just started this program. We've only done 3 lessons, but they've all gone really, really well. And I love that there is a little picture study before you start the lesson with, a very short, just a 1-page picture study. And then after that is like, okay, now you try. And it's just a 1-page, really simple, minimal print lesson on how you can try to, in a way replicate what you just looked at. And then they give you some pointers on technique and what art supplies to use. I did go ahead, because of someone's comment in that video, to purchase the Artistic Pursuits bundle of art supplies versus putting together my own. Was really nice. So that's on the way. I'm really excited that we decided on that. Okay, so that is going to be our art curriculum. This, I assume, will last us easily. Well, actually, there's only like 40 lessons in this. Maybe it's only 36. So this will last us, I can't do the math, but definitely into the summer, end of summer, and then I'm sure within the school year, we will go on to the next level. So this is a great group subject for both of them. Also on the same note of art, in a few videos ago, I was like, I can't stop buying curriculum. Why am I doing this to myself and just like adding on more and more? And I felt like it was so hard to figure out how to squeeze in a picture study. And this is actually going really well. So we started with Monet. Today was our 5th picture study. Gosh, already? We've been doing it once a week. It was our 4th or 5th. Maybe it's just our 4th. And it's just great when you just make the intention. You set the intention, you're going to do it. Starting with this at the beginning of the day has definitely, obviously, made it a lot easier to accomplish it. So we've been starting with this once a week, and my daughter's comprehension and memory of the paintings has been so good, which is so fun to see, just like the skill that I didn't know that she had. Her narration of the water lilies was just like so perfect. Like a lot of the questions that I ask about the art, I would not, which is funny because I went to art school. But I don't know, I have a hard time thinking up the questions that I would ask. I'm sure over time I'll get better at it. So I've actually been using the questions that come with Lindsay's Treehouse Schoolhouse Nature Study curriculum, which I'll show you in a second. She has picture study in that curriculum, and she has a whole list of picture study questions. This comes with questions, but it's not that many, and hers are so much better. So I'm really glad that I've had her list to go over for the questions. And then this also comes with like a whole biography about the artist. But we just like checked out a couple books from the library that were like kid picture books because the biography in this is pretty dense. I think it's great for older kids, but not so much for my little ones. So that's been going really well. Very excited. All right, so on that note with the nature study, I showed this, I think, last video. This may be one of my core curriculums for my rising TKer because it just is like a full spectrum curriculum for a child that age. It doesn't include math and it does not include phonics, but it does include like song and dance and storybooks and science, and just a lot of the things that you would see at a preschool or TK, you know, for a TK age student. So it's really appropriate for his age. So it's a lot of circle time stuff. And we're going to try this out this summer to see how it goes. And then I will bring in the next one for my TKer, and then I'm just sure that my daughter will hang with us on this too. But it does seem geared towards like younger kids. But that's our plan anyway for nature study. Okay, music. So we're going to be doing a couple different things for music. I'll show a picture here. I have been researching this company. It's not called Woven Melodies. Let me see. It's called something else. Okay, Thistles and Biscuits is the name of the company. And Woven Melodies seems, from what I can gather, seems to be targeted towards a younger student. So we're going to start with Woven Melodies, and then there's one after that called, I think it's called Living Harmony, that we would do afterwards. So we're going to start with Woven Melodies. The thing I like about this music study is that it covers a lot of different cultures, a lot of different instruments from just all over the world. And I think that's really neat. I was, wanting to do some sort of music study, and I was like, well, I guess we'll do a composer study, which I think we definitely will do. But I think my kids will be a little bit more into like the instrument side, since their dad is a musician. My husband has a ton of instruments. And so I think like just for the whole family, we'll probably enjoy that curriculum more than a composer study, like a classic composer study. So I'm excited to try this one out. I haven't seen a whole lot of it on YouTube, but I've seen some reviews and people seem to be enjoying it. This would just be a once a week thing. So in addition to the music study, I am going to bring in the recorder. My husband has a couple of recorders, so this will be something fun for my second grader and TKer to learn together. I got the Oak Meadow, level 1 beginning recorder. So we will use this as our, main program for learning how to play it. And then once the kids have learned their notes, my daughter is super into Native American history, and so I got this 36 traditional Native American songs for the recorder, which I think that she'll just like totally love. In our First American Girl book, there is a boy who learns to play the flute, and she really liked that part of the story. So maybe the flute will be next. Let's jump into foreign language. Is that my last thing? Oh, I have a couple other little enrichment things too to talk about. So Beautiful Mundo is a Spanish curriculum that we're going to do. I keep showing this, and yet we haven't even started it. I'm planning to start this in April. And I think with a lot of these I will do like actual flip-throughs. I haven't done a flip-through of this yet, but this is level 1 Spanish. This is the teacher's guide. It comes with up to 3 workbooks. Which we found was just too many. So I have 2 workbooks for my second grader. I don't know if I'll have my TKer use a workbook unless he wants one. Let's see. There's phonics, there's grammar, there's copy work. I mean, it's really full spectrum. And then there's an enormous book list, and but only a few required books. And then a lot of songs. There's poetry. Like it sounds like a beautiful program. The things that I've seen on YouTube about it have been really good. So once we start this, I will do a proper flip through, but I'm really looking forward to teaching the kids some Spanish. I took a lot of Spanish in school, and it'll be great for me to relearn everything I forgot, right? All right, so that's our foreign language plan. We are also planning to do a safety curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. I haven't looked at it in a hot minute here, but when I did look at it, I just loved it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are a lot of topics that we have not gone over with our kids. It's like water safety, fire safety, what to do if you get lost, what to do like if you're lost in the woods. So a lot of just like really specific scenarios that will hopefully never happen, but I feel really good, you know, going over a curriculum like that with them just in case. And then I have a couple of these kind of like character building and logic, like critical skills building workbooks. I've talked about these before. This one we haven't used a whole lot of. It honestly seems just like way too young to me. So this is something that I will probably let my son start using pretty soon. I've been trying to use it for my daughter, and it's just, yeah, it seems too young. But the Can You Find Me? She's loving this. This is really fun. It's just like really easy logic questions. So this one is, I have one more than 3. Gus has one less than me. Count my blocks in those of Gus. Which group of blocks belongs to us? So I read these out for her, and then and she really likes it. I think she's pretty good at logic. When I read that, I'm like, what? Okay, so I've got those. Let me just look at my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything, because I feel like that went really quick. I'm like, oh, 25 minutes later, 30 minutes later. No, it didn't. That's it. Yeah, went over everything. Okay, so I'm feeling really good about these choices. I don't imagine anything will change, but it's only February, so we'll see. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging with me on this one. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. If you're liking what I'm showing within our homeschool, the kind of curriculum we do, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. All right, thanks. Bye.